Hey, it's Ryan Thomas, and in this video, we're talking about one of the biggest hidden obstacles that alienated parents face. It impacts their ability to thrive and survive in parental alienation, but also in their efforts to do everything they can to reconnect. And that obstacle is insomnia, the literal inability to sleep, to get rested. Their mind and emotions are always whirling. Therefore, they are constantly exhausted and it impacts everything. And so, here to dive into more of this and what we're seeing is our Get Them Back mindset and emotion coach, Jen Ahana. Jen, welcome. And again, this is something that we're seeing insidious in every parent that we're working with. Tell us more about it.
Well, it's interesting because, alienation is the biggest energy leak that a parent could possibly have to deal with. It is ongoing and it is constant. And it's something that you always feel like you're on your toes. When is the next thing that's going to happen? When's the next domino and obstacle that I'm going to have to deal with? And so for parents, so often the common mentality is alienation is something that is always on your mind, not even in the back of your mind, like it's literally at the forefront. Parents talk about how it's difficult to work, it's difficult to concentrate, it's difficult to be present with other loved ones, family, and friends. It's difficult to engage in hobbies. So, of course, one of the most damaging health effects that alienation can create is insomnia. And I think at the beginning that surprised us at first to see how often not only were parents dealing with this, not because of the situation itself, but how parents were revealing more and more of the damaging effects that this is having on their health. And my background in wellness and health that I've done for my entire adult life, it's actually one of my deepest passions. It helped me realize like how important it is for us to look at how and where parents are leaking energy. And it's not just in the situation that you deal with and you feel like you're dealing with on a constant basis, but it's one of the most natural states of things that you should be able to have the ability to sleep, the ability to sleep and to regenerate. So, what I want to do is I want to take a moment and I want to talk about why this is happening and give you an overall sense of like what you can do to actually course correct if this is an issue that you're having, because we've seen a lot of parents actually be able to heal their natural rhythms and sleep cycle and get their energies back, which gives you more energy to put in the effort to reconnect with your child. So the first thing that I want to talk about is rhythms. When you are living your life day to day, one of the most natural rhythms that we have is the day night cycle, right? It's being able to go to sleep at night. But when you look at life as a parent who's been alienated, one of the most natural rhythms is taken away from you. The rhythm of being a parent, the rhythm of being able to interact with your child, the rhythm to be able to see your child when you want, engage with your child when you want, be a natural part of your life. So when alienation happens, it disrupts that rhythm. And if you're a parent who's dealing with insomnia, you may think, well, how is this related to alienation? Is because we have to look at what are the rhythms in your life that are also disrupted in addition to alienation, meaning what's the domino effect that this has had on you? And we need to understand that because if you are leaking energy in an area of your life and not being able to get restorative sleep at night because you're waking up every hour on the hour and you're thinking about this, you find yourself maybe waking up in the middle of the night and you feel emotions or you're replaying memories or you're replaying past regrets. That is not a normal state of existence. And it's also not a state of existence that can give you the sense to endure the long haul. So we have to look at what are those patterns tied to the insomnia. And one of the biggest things that I'll see parents deal with is that oftentimes when they're going to bed at night, they're thinking about the same memories, the same issues, the same things that the alienator keeps doing, the last message that they got from their child, how many days, weeks, months, years that it has been since they've heard from their child. And rather than having the natural rhythm of sleep, what you unintentionally end up doing is you build a dysfunctional rhythm of thinking about the same negative thoughts, replaying the same past events that are hindering your ability to make progress moving forward. And I want you to really let that sink in. When you replay the same past events at night, in the middle of the night, when you first wake up, or every hour on an hour because you can't sleep at night, you are actually unintentionally creating a rhythm that is disrupting your ability to reconnect with your child. And at the same time, you're missing an opportunity to restore and have a solid 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep every night, even 5 or 6 hours of sleep every night. So the first thing that we always have to look at is not only how are your patterns of sleep affecting you, if that's something that you're facing, but what is the mindset behind the insomnia? It's not necessarily about I'll just mask the insomnia or I'll just deal with it. What are the mental patterns behind it? What are the emotional patterns behind it? Because here's what's wild. Your mind loves patterns. So if you're falling into a pattern where you can't sleep at night, and if that's tied to then replacing that normal rhythm with the rhythm of thinking about the same things over and over again, your mind will start to attach onto that. And then that becomes a habit. Ryan, it makes me think of a mom that we work with, right? Remember her? She has 5 daughters,
Mhm.
alienated from all of them. And she would come on the mindset calls with me and she would say, I wake up at 2 a.m. every morning and I think about this and I think about this and I think about this. And then I just lay awake in bed and then I fall back asleep at 5 o'clock for about an hour.
Yep.
And she couldn't figure out how to break the cycle. So we first look at, well, what's the actual cycle that you're stuck in? What's the actual cycle? Because a lot of times when parents are dealing with alienation, you get caught up in the pattern of thinking the same thing over and over rather than thinking about what can you do differently. And that's what you and I are so passionate about is where can we actually disrupt the patterns that aren't serving you? And as it relates to actually being able to sleep better at night, one of the biggest mistakes that I'll see parents making is they'll say to us, once I get my child back, I'll be able to sleep better. Once things are back to normal, or once my child just responds back to a text message, or I can go to a school event, then I'll be able to sleep at night. And the thing that we always say is that that's actually the reverse, that we actually need to flip that formula 180 degrees because you cannot wait to heal yourself and restore your energy and just wait for the outcome to happen in order for those changes to take place. It's actually quite the opposite. If you can heal your health, if you can restore your energy, if you can go to bed and actually train your brain to think differently, literally train your brain to re remember what a natural sleep cycle is, to give yourself positive affirmations and self talk that say, I can actually sleep through the night. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to feel a little bit better and have a little bit better energy. And you can start to gain normal rhythms back into your life, the most basic rhythm of sleep. Guess what happens? You start to feel a greater sense of control that you can change something, that you can change the way you think, that you can change how you operate day to day. And when a parent can start to feel those wins in an area that is seemingly unrelated to the relationship with their child, that starts to give you more power, more sense of control, and a more sense of confidence. So you don't wait to get your child back to change these other things in your life. You actually figure out how can you develop more energy? How can you develop more mental control? How can you gain a better control over your emotions and build better wiring in your own mind and build that every single day? Because if that gives you confidence and that gives you more control, guess what that's going to do? It's going to set the path for you to get your child back because you're approaching it not only with better energy and better health, but with a better mental state that all comes from a source of changing the patterns that aren't working for you and getting your control back. Getting your control back helps you get your child back.
And this is one of the single biggest methods and perspectives that I think we bring to the clients that we do work with. And hopefully here on a YouTube video, just at the very tip of the iceberg, is this is what you need in order to have the vitality and the energy to do the things that can actually help save the relationship and rescue your child from alienation. If you, and a lot of parents come to us like, hey, I want to do the work, but oh my gosh, I'm exhausted to even sometimes think about watching a training video, doing the work, attending a live call, submitting questions, engaging. Sometimes the thought is just exhausting, which is why you honestly are so integral in the work that we do, because before they can get to the really amazing tactics and strategies that are available to them that can change their child's hearts and minds, is they have to tell themselves a different story. They have to hit that reset button and really lock into their mind a different story, a different approach, a different perspective on the situation, so that they can take care of themselves, so that they can sleep. And a lot of times, you hear self-care, what is it? Is it a buzzword? What does it actually mean? what it means is taking care of yourself and doing some of the basic things that have gotten, as you said, out of whack, out of sync, out of cycle, so that you have the energy, the drive, the determination to do the things that are going to radically and dramatically transform your life, your child's life, your quality of life while you're going through this, right? That's something else that we haven't really even talked about. Is it's not only just what can you do so that you feel better and you can do the things to help reconnect with your child, but along the way, because that is a journey, it's a process. What can you do to increase the quality of your life so that you are happier, so that you are feeling more peace and calm and confidence? And all of that is derived from turning the brain and the emotions off that are negative patterns, turning them into a positive so that here's when I'm on, here's when I'm off, and you start to return that normal cycle so that you can actually get the rest, so that you're not exhausted, but instead you're energized. And it is a game changer.
It is. And I want to just say to parents, check out this reframe. If this is something that you're dealing with, or maybe you realize not only do I have insomnia, but maybe I have pain, I have weight issues, whatever it is. Like, we've seen parents come to us with so many different health issues. I don't want you to adopt the mentality that this is another thing I have to fix. This is another thing I have to figure out. Because what can be so disempowering about alienation is that there's this person out there or this regime out there that you feel like has taken away your power and sense of command over yourself. This isn't, oh my gosh, not only do I have to fix communication with my kid, I have to fix my thoughts, I have to fix my emotions. My gosh, now I have to fix my sleep patterns. No, this is about actually recognizing that the more you can adjust and improve and elevate in these different areas of your life, if you can elevate your mentality, your emotional patterns, your health, your energy, your vitality, as it relates to this video, your sleep, your normal rhythms, your normal patterns, these are actually assets. These are actually tools that the alienator can have absolutely nothing to do with. Imagine how great it could feel if you could actually wake up in the morning and feel refreshed and restored purely because you knew how to create a different shift in your mentality and emotional control, where you can wake up and say, you know what? No matter what the alienator has tried to do or is going to try to do, they can't take my energy away from me. They will not take my sleep away from me. So it's not something that you fix. It's something that you get control back on. And that's looking at that in every single facet of your life, which is why so much of reconnecting with your child, it's not just imperative that the work you do, Ryan, but we have to look at and peel back the curtain behind the scenes. Where is your power being drained in other areas? If we can restore your energy back, that's your vitality. That's your wellspring to keep going in this game. My friends, you need to sleep in order to be able to counter what the alienator is doing. But you don't fix it. You gain your power back and realize that you have the control to change your rhythms, your own natural state and rhythms. And if you can control the rhythm of your sleep, guess what? You can be the influence to change the rhythm with you and your child. And that is the greatest power that you can reclaim within yourself. And once you know that, no one can take it away from you.
I love it. It's such great advice. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective and your insights. I know it is really dear to your heart and the work that you do. So thank you so much for sharing it.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
everybody for watching, and we will see you on another video.
Hey, it's Ryan Thomas. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it also helps to spread the word. Be sure to watch other videos from this channel, and also check below this video for other resources and links to help.